to time in my podcast, I talk about the concept of athlete ownership and how important it is to the development of young athletes. In today's podcast, I'm going to talk about the concept of synaptic pruning and how that process impacts athletes during their crucial developmental years. We're born with billions of neurons, and even before we arrive on this planet, we've already started the process of creating neural networks or neural maps to deal with the outside world. By age 2, children's brains are processing approximately 74 gigabytes of information on a daily basis. For perspective, that's like watching 16 movies or reading 2 to 3 books. As they vacuum up information, they're creating more and more complex networks that require space. As that evolves, the cranium begins to run out of real estate. To solve that issue, starting around age 2, the brain prunes or burns back neurons that have not been used. This pruning back process is done to create more space and continues all the way up to around age 16. When athletes are exposed to sport, there's this explosion of connections between neurons to manage their sport's patterns of movement. Through the trial and error process of developing skills, neurons that continually fire together get wired together, and in time are wrapped in myelin to enhance the strength and the efficacy of the signal to the working muscle. Neurons that are used less or aren't used frequently get pruned back as more space is needed. It's a critical turbulent period for every athlete since they need to develop networks and maps that will enhance their future versus impeding their future. In my mind, it's imperative that athletes are given the tools to develop the right structure from the ground up. To complicate their sports journey, they grow up as young people. As they enter their teenage years, their worldview expands. Growth spurts and physical challenges leave them looking awkward and gangly, and media-driven social issues all impact them at their most vulnerable period. All of that contributes to the fact that 70% of them quit by age 13. That, to me, is a crying shame, and it's on all of us as coaches to work hard to counteract that statistic. What can we put in place to allow athletes to become more invested in who they are and what they're about? And can that dovetail with their ability to grow as young people? Getting back to the concept of athlete ownership, the key here is that we can't wait until they're in their teenage years to begin that process. We must begin teaching them everything we know during their developmental years. If you look at that chart on the right, it gives you the broad brushstrokes of that process. The bottom line is that we need to expose them to everything we know, create environments where they are exposed to the physical and mental tools that will help them chase their dreams. When they fully understand everything they need to be successful in their sport, good things happen. It gives them ownership over how they construct their career. It creates a relationship with their sport and makes it much harder for them to drop out or walk away from something that creates value for them. They develop neural maps that will be the foundation of their future. They will have the tools and the confidence to handle all the skill technique changes when they start growing like weeds. If we wait too long, there is a possibility that the pruning back process will eliminate their ability to fully grasp their sport. Opportunities to grow might be lost forever. Since we can't compete for them, it's imperative that we give them everything they need to compete for themselves. The bottom line is this: if we give young kids the tools to explore, understand and embrace their sport, it will have a positive impact to their life and their career path. Not only will they be able to navigate their bumpy teenage years, it will supply them with the fabric they need to fall in love with their long-term goals of being the best they can be. As coaches, it should be our honor to make that happen.